Hello, welcome to week 4 of updates. I've been recording a lot this week. Not a lot else has happened, but I can give you a rundown of what I've been doing in the studio. So this week, I've been recording guitars for the EP that I'm going to do for my final major project. Basically, I just got round to doing the rhythm guitars. I thought I'd get both done, my lead guitar as well as the rhythm guitar, but it didn't turn out that way. But yeah, I'll take you through what we did. So firstly, my rhythm guitarist in the band, Will, he was playing through a Telecaster that he has, which is lovely sounding, and then through his pedal board into the DI, and then we had that running through a reamp box into a Vox amplifier, Vox AC30. I chose to go with an SM57 and then also a 414 off-axis facing towards the edge of the speaker cone instead of the center. I felt like this gave us a good balance of really bright tones, but then also by having a condenser off-axis towards the edge of the cone, it gave us a slightly different sound, still kind of bright, but a bit more muted, and then you can mix them together and you get a really nice kind of mix of everything from the guitar amp. It was like a slightly driven sound. The influences for the songs was a band called Smiley, especially their second album. So it was like quite a clippy, quite a, not lo-fi, but quite a top-endy, clippy sound, which came out really well, I thought. Then we also had those two microphones patched into the two Neve preamps that the studio had patched to the line inputs of the desk. Overall, the 3 songs took about 6 hours to do, which was absolutely fine. We did a bit of double tracking as well, where Will's guitar would be on the right hand side, and then we would record a double track for the left hand side. Maybe if the recording or the guitar was on the bridge pickup, we might do the double track on the left hand side on the neck pickup where it's a bit duller, so you get this kind of sonic difference between either side. Also, my guitar will also be on the left, so it doesn't need to be super bright and like kind of get in the way of my guitars. I thought we would get a bit more done with the 6 hours, but it's just how it turned out. I spent a lot of time trying to get the microphones in phase by using like the pink noise trick. Basically, it starts off with both of your microphones, one in phase and then one out of phase, and this will come in handy later. You then take your pink noise signal, which you're generating from Pro Tools or whichever DAW you're using, you patch it to a headphone jack in the live room, and then take that pink noise sound, put it through a reamp box, so it goes from a line signal to an instrument signal. And then basically what happens is when that pink noise comes through the two microphones, you're trying to move both the microphones so you're putting the pink noise out of phase. And then when you get it to the point where the pink noise basically sounds like an aerosol can where all the low end's gone, you know that when you flip the phase button on one of those microphones, it will be completely in phase. So that took up quite a lot of time. But then once that was set, we could just go through and record as much guitar as we wanted without having any phase issues, which is great. Again, I tried to do a lot of the production on the way in, so EQing and any kind of automation that we might do with pedals. Try to do that on the way in, so like turning knobs on pedals as they go in, so like maybe add a reverb tail that's a bit longer to the end of the guitar take, so I don't have to make an automated send on the post-production side. I'm really happy with how the guitars came out. All we have left to do is my guitar parts, vocals, and then some synths, which I have a friend who I'm going to borrow their synthesizers. I want to try and keep as much of it out of the box as possible just for some fun. So the live sessions with NMG, that's pretty much planned for now. I'm thinking instead of having 3 bands, I'm just going to do 2 bands, because I think there may be a little bit too much stress on the day if I try and fit 3 bands. I don't want to put too much strain on the people that are coming to help me that day, I feel like, 2 bands is enough to show my skills like I wouldn't want to rush the bands that I've got coming in. You know, it would be terrible if I were to have the bands come in and then be like, look, we got to smash this performance out because we've got another band coming in at 3 or whatever. I feel like by having 2, I kind of give myself the best of both worlds, where I get the content that I want, I don't have to rush it, and I can also give the best content to the bands that are coming in, you know? I'd hate to give something back that was rushed. I've been in the studio with a friend last weekend because he's recording a live album, so I thought it'd be a great opportunity to go in and try and mic up as many things in the studio as possible to see how much bleed we get, and also just to check my techniques and see what I'm capable of in the studio. We got to the point where we got really good drum sound, and then we also just used all the baffles in the studio to kind of mask off the amps away from the drums. It seemed that the vocal mics, as long as they're dynamic, they're very directional, so they didn't seem to get too much bleed in where it was distracting against the... I found it so helpful to be in that kind of, in that headspace of live tracking instead of just kind of doing instrument by instrument. I'm glad I helped out with that session. Then for the artist spotlight, not much has changed there this week. I've been so busy in the studio with my own work and also helping other people that I just haven't had time to begin to start recording it. I haven't had time in the day when there's enough light and when Lumix is free. It's been a lot of microphoning, a lot of recording this week. So yeah, it's a pretty quick update from me this week. Hoping to get a bit more of the artist spotlight done next week if I can get Lumix round. I'm also going to email the bands that I have coming in for the NMG sessions just to make sure that there's nothing on their mind, and then I can give you an update on that next week. But yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully see you next week. Bye.